What's up everyone, Guitar Hoarder here, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to take a look at a listing for an ESP Mx250 Man to Wolf Explorer. Before we begin, if I could please ask, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, leave some comments down below, hit the like button, be muchly appreciated. Let's jump into it. Now some of you might already be aware of this seller's collection of pre-Gibson lawsuit ESP Explorers from over the years. There's no denying it, it's an absolute awesome collection and guitars that we all just drool over and will probably never ever own. The seller has somehow acquired a heap of rare James Hetfield ESP custom Explorers from over the years and is quite known on the internet for the collection and also the prices that he tries to sell them for. Now, without any further delays, let's go and check out the listing. Alright, so I found this listing the other day while going through eBay looking for guitars. I would search it up now. So it's ESP Man to Wolf and 1992 I believe was some keywords for it. And here it is here, and have a look at this price. Now of course I'm in Australia, so Australian dollars comes up first, $754,000. What can you say? I could buy a house for that. I could probably buy 2 houses for that. That is just absolutely insane. Now let's go and check out the listing. So the price the seller has put in there is $500,000, 500,000 in US, which obviously equates to 754 in Australian dollars. Now the seller himself is from Turkey, I believe. Yep, there it is there, Istanbul, Turkey. Let's check out the pictures of this one. And as I said previously, the seller does have an awesome collection of ESP Explorers. So this is the one in question here, the Man to Wolf Explorer. According to the seller playing the guitar. Here it is here in the case. I'm not going to deny it looks absolutely sick. And that's an awesome inlay going on there. You can buy budget inlays from eBay to stick on guitars that you already own. Can't say that I would do that. And not the best photos either looking at these. So here it is paired up with the ESP Explorer from, that looks like the Justice for All days when they were doing the tour. James has one there. It's got the rude middle finger picture on the inlays. And here's the seller's collection of Explorers. Looks absolutely awesome. I'm not sure why he'd be wanting to sell this particular one. Maybe they're just priced so that way his wife thinks that he is trying to sell them, but really he's not. And there they are all lined out. Nice. Oh. And he's got his child in there playing with him. Don't know if I'd be keen on buying a $754,000 guitar with a child hanging onto it. Have to decrease the value by at least 50 grand. Not sure what exactly that says there. What other pictures have we got here? So just more shots of James when he was playing his Man to Wolf from back in the early 90s. And again, recently in the last few years, he has actually brought this back out on the road. Looks quite beaten up there, as you can see. Bit of a comparison there. That must be the original Man to Wolf inlays, and then this must be the ones that you buy on eBay just to stick on your own guitar. Might also be a bit of a comparison with different headstocks and what people might expect with a fake, as there are a lot of fakes around. Some great shots there of James with his. Let's check out the seller's description for this one. Alright, from the seller. ESP Mx250, made on 27 July 1992, genuine man to wolf, James Hetfield Explorer. He talks about going to the guitar collectors page to check out the serial number. Man to wolf and middle finger inlays were drawn by James Hetfield. Not on the guitar, but pictures would have been drawn and they copied them for the inlays. So he talks about here how it's a genuine Mx250 Explorer, and saw one on Reverb a few years ago, a 94 Mx250. When he checked the serial number, it was real, but fake inlays. Man to wolf, where I know it. It is a little bit hard to understand the seller's English when reading it, but it is a quite good read. I read it this morning. So he bought from the first owner in 2018. Oh, it's only about 5 years ago. It's 29 years old. The guitar, that is. And the first owner bought it in 2001 from ESP, and he worked as a lutherer for ESP. Now there's a bit of interesting information. The guitar is from 1992, but he is the first owner, the original owner, who only bought it in 2001 from ESP. I wonder what they're doing with it since then. And it goes on to be a bit of a history behind it and all the rest of it. It's a really good read. So all the links will be up in the description of my video for you to check out. Of course, he mentions here Gibson releasing the Epiphone copied version of the 1984 Explorer, copying the configuration of the ESP. Of course, I think it was back in about 2001 or so, is when Gibson slapped a lawsuit down on ESP to stop making them. So yeah, there's the seller's listing anyway, which is a current listing. Anyone who wants to grab it has a $500,000 US. Now I did also find on eBay that the seller is also selling another ESP Mx250. This time it's a custom 1-of-1, which also features the EMG headset pickups. And I will say they sound absolutely sick, probably my favourite pickups that I've ever played. Seller this time selling this one for $25,000 US in Australia, approximately about 37 grand. Let's have a look at some pictures of this one. Looks nice also. Got the natural finish there. Does have a lot of markings on it. You see some buckle rash and everything on the back there. Ooh, there's actually a lot of buckle rash there. Look at that. Not sure if this is like an aged version or someone's actually just abused it. On the corners and everything. This one might be made by Edwards actually and not ESP. Edwards is a smaller sister company of ESP. Makes cheaper versions of their guitars, but are still really good guitars from what I've read. Bit of a Star Wars fan with the Lego. That's enough of the photos of that one. Check out a bit of a description on this one. Doesn't look like there's anything mentioned about it being made by Edwards. Just about ESP and it being a custom order from 2007. I'll have a link for this one in the description as well. And this is the Guitar Collector's site, which the seller actually mentions in his description of the Man to Wolf guitar. This one here. So there's a link here, which lists a little bit more information based on it. I'll have a link for this one too in the description. It's also got some great photos of James posing in the middle of nowhere with his guitar. Love the face, James. And then there's more photos here, moving into his awesome mullet days. Sick mullet, James. So yeah, you guys can check out that one. And then the other thing I found was, while searching online, is from the ESP Forums. Where do we get dated back to? 2021, or that was when it was updated. First wrote about 3 years ago. And they mentioned that the seller is selling the Man to Wolf Explorer for $300,000. Obviously, 3 years ago, inflation now, sellers bumped it up to $500,000. They've got a listing here which is for Reverb, which we'll have a look in a second. Some more photos there of it. Of course, there's a lot of funny comments you can read in here. We won't have a look at it now, but I definitely will put the link for this in the description as well for you guys to read. And then here's a quick look at the old listing from the seller, which was originally on Reverb. And same sort of description and photos in there. So the $754,000 question is, what's it really worth? How can you put a price on this guitar? First off, you probably can talk to some ESP experts, some ESP collectors, gauge from their feedback an average price and use that as a starting point. This price, however, seems excessively over the top, and that's just being politically correct. Not even James Hetfield himself would pay this price. The next question to ask is, where does this guitar fit in amongst all the legendary guitars that have been released over the years, from the likes of the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Eric Clapton, just to name a few? Leave some comments down below, let's have a conversation about this, see if we can work out what we really think it's worth, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching my video, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell, that way you'll be notified of my next upload, and I'll catch you on the next one.